Now, coming up next, the big game.
This
Lindale and Chapel Hill. Now, these two coaches, I like these guys, Chris Cochran and Jeff Riordan, the beard, as I call him. They're good coaches. Lindale's coming off, as I mentioned earlier, a tough loss, 37-36 in overtime.
Yeah.
And Coach Riordan is coming off a loss, a romp to Carthage, 45-15, I believe. So, Coach Cochran, what he noticed was when there was realignment, that's the first thing they noticed was, we're going to start off playing Chapel Hill. Let's hear what Coach has to say.
You know, when you looking back, when we drew those numbers back whenever, March or I guess it was February on that realignment day, you look at it and you're like, oh, well, opening up district with the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, what's that look like? But it's you've got coming off of Gilmer, and the speed, the athleticism, it's a very similar deal. They just played each other, the week before, and so, you've already been watching that film, from a different perspective, looking at Gilmer, but you can still see stuff that maybe you would have seen the week before, so it's a little bit more fresh. But yeah, there's a lot of speed and athleticism for our kids to have to line up against. Both teams, and Gilmer and Chapel Hill are good up front on the offensive lines and defensive lines. So yeah, it's definitely a tough matchup for us.
District season is over, ready to move forward. You want them thinking that way?
Yeah, I talked to him on Monday and said, you had a blowout win week 1.
Yeah.
You had a last-minute win against the last year's state championship, state champion in 4A Division II. Then you had a game where you had to come back down 13.5 against White House, and then you got your lip busted this Friday night. So you've experienced everything in pre-district, and that's was the reason we scheduled the pre-district like we did. It was tough every week. We had to be on our game every week, but none of that counts. Everybody's 0-0 now, and district starts this Friday night, and this is where we got to be good.
Overall, they're coming off of 2 losses, so do you think that that's going to make them more confident or break it a little?
No, I think both teams, they're putting behind what happened last week.
Okay.
And in a lot of ways, both teams, I know both coaches, that had this date circled. This date circled.
There's a countdown on their clock.
Yeah, okay. So, and for me, I don't, it's a toss-up because Lindale is good, and for them to lose to a good Gilmer team the way they did in overtime, and for where Chapel Hill was, they were up 7-0 because the third play of the game, Carthage threw an interception. Chapel Hill returns it for a 7-0 lead, and then Chapel Hill was set on the sidelines on offense because Carthage and their offense was taking their time marching down the field. In fact, Carthage Chapel Hill did not get on offense until 5 minutes and 3 seconds of the first quarter. So you're cold, there's no rhythm, there's no sync, and they go out there, they're 3 and out.
Just getting thrown in.
And now the offense of Carthage, they're warm, they're hitting and whatever, and then they would take a 14-7 lead. And then it was a 21, and then it was 28, and then it became 41. And so I think the key for Chapel Hill this week will be to get off to a fast start on offense. Yeah. Get a fast start on offense and go from there. Because, once you're down, now I've seen that team, Chapel Hill, I've seen them come from behind 2 years ago, 28-0 to Henderson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were.
But that was the 2 years ago.
That was 2 years
team.
ago. But a lot of these guys were sophomores who were playing at that time.
Okay. Well, that changes it.
The quarterback and the running back. And so this is going to be another good game. So this is going to be fun. We're going to be there for you. Now, our next